That
They asked me recently, I didn't even answer. It's good you brought this up. That
yeah.
Do you you are with your husband? Is he nice? Do you love him?
Do you love him? For sure. In Zim,
Yeah.
if I add if you want to, my attitude is already here.
Yeah. It's
Because
like, who does she think?
Exactly, I'm already thinking who do you think you are?
Okay,
So if I'm gonna add
Yeah.
if you want to, it's most of the time it's not coming from an if you want to place.
Yeah. Hello and welcome again to our channel, African Lives Abroad. My name is Kate.
I'm Fadzi. Happy to be here with you again.
Yeah, and on today's episode we have something very interesting. Today we're looking at language barrier, and I want Fadzi to start because she told me very funny stories before. But before we get to that, there's a lot involved in language barrier. There's not understanding the language at all, which is what, I won't even break it down. I just want her to start talking.
I mean, that's the main thing, but then there's also, because in language, it's not just the words that are spoken, it's actually the culture and the way of seeing things and the way of seeing life. Yeah. So that can be really, it can be very interesting.
And it's stages to it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there's not understanding.
There's not understanding.
Learning
it. And then
feeling like an idiot.
Yeah, feeling like an absolute idiot.
And then there's advantages now eventually.
I think they are, that's for sure.
But Fadzi, you know what I'm driving at. There's a story you told me a while before about an incident you went through here in China because of language barrier with a Chinese app. Yeah.
There's so many.
No, I want you to repeat for everyone about your Australian. You ordered toothpaste.
So here in China, the biggest online mall that exists, I guess, in the world is called Taobao, and so over the years it's sort of like improved in terms of and so many things. But imagine in the beginning, I don't speak any Chinese at all, and Chinese is not just about speaking it, it's also about reading Chinese. So I can't read Chinese, and now everybody's shopping on Taobao, and I'm there too, trying to figure out how to purchase products and things that you need, and you can get anything that you need from there. And normally it's like within 3-4 days this thing has arrived, and so there's something you need to do on the app about where you are located, because products are coming from different places, and some people are actually selling these products on Taobao, but they're selling them from abroad. So you need to make sure that your location settings are just really, in place. So here I am, very green to the experience of, shopping on Taobao, and I thought to myself, no, because I'm like in the whole, I'm being more conscious of what I'm using in my life and all of that. So I've been using this brand of toothpaste.
Yeah.
And I was finding it very easily in a place before, but now I'm shopping on Taobao and it's right there.
Yeah.
Very reasonably priced. So I purchased my toothpaste.
Yeah.
And I am waiting and toothpaste is not arriving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what's happening. Only to find out from a Chinese friend, because I then asked her and I said, can you help me? I bought toothpaste and my toothpaste is not arriving at all. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We look into the situation. She's like, girl, you bought toothpaste from Australia.
That story killed me, man.
From Australia.
How many months did you have to?
Actually, I waited for close to 2 months for that toothpaste to arrive. It had to go through customs and everything.
Wait, Yeah.
Oh God, that was like in the early stages of of using Taobao.
Yeah.
So after that, I learned my lesson. You have to really check.
Yeah.
No, none of that. You have to check where you're purchasing from.
As we speak, I think I have some supplements stuck at customs.
Yeah.
Because I ordered them from the US and I don't have an ID, a Chinese ID.
Yeah.
Language barrier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sunscreen that I've been to 2 countries now, and I ordered sunscreen from China. I don't know from where. It took 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months. Yeah.
And that's because of the location thing.
Yeah.
So you pop in what you're looking for, and the good thing about it, what I love about living here, is the technology is so advanced.
Yeah.
So you just like pop in a picture.
Yeah.
It takes it just scans the picture, and then it brings up all the places within that the online app or whatever that have that thing. So if you're not careful, you just press the first one that you see, but if you don't look at the location, then you don't know where it's coming from. Everyone has an accent. That's why it's called a British accent or an American accent or an Australian accent. People don't laugh at those because they're more, what do you call it?
That's the standard.
That's the standard. Yeah. But the reason they exist is because if you're in a different place, the way that you speak a language is different to some other place. So everybody has an accent.
Yeah.
Just because you don't recognize it doesn't mean you don't have it. So...
And that's one thing now that brings me. It has taught me that just because someone does not speak your language fluently does not mean that that person is not smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, because for some reason the world equates an accent to intelligence.
Yeah.
And the two have nothing to do with each other.
No.
Just because I can't express what I know in Chinese when I first got here didn't mean that I was dumb.
No.
It just meant that I don't know how to say that in the language spoken in the land.
Yeah.
And so it can be very, if you stay on that kind of mindset, you become very close-minded. And then you're not open to the wisdom that you can find where you're living because you are just not accepting the fact that an accent is just that. It's just the way of speaking. What did Trevor Noah say? He says something about the accent. It's like speaking your language with the rules of my language or something like that.
Whatever he said is very philosophical.
But funny at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been part of the experience with language barrier. And also because language carries culture within it, then there was also a lot of cultural misunderstandings just because the language is different. For example, like a lot of Chinese people will ask you very directly about what do you earn, how much do you earn, and how much does your house cost, and how much does that dress you're wearing, how much did you buy it for? And for me, I was like, why would you ask somebody something like that? That's information that you keep private. Yeah. But then if you don't know the language, you think you have to answer with a number. Yeah. But actually you don't. I only understood it after I learned Chinese, that you don't have to answer that.
They asked me recently, I didn't even answer. It's good you brought this up.
Yeah.
Do you you are with your husband? Is he nice? Do you love him?
Do you love him?
I have no.
What if you say no, I don't love him? What are they gonna say? Do you love him?
That's why I think, as we always say in all these episodes, we have a Chinese playlist coming because there are things. She has been here for 11 years. I've only been here for 8 months. I need to unpack. She needs to decode this thing.
I need to give you some.
Tell me
some info. So some things you don't actually have to answer like directly.
Yeah.
It also sounds rude.
Yeah.
When they translate it, because and this is the other thing. Not actually because they're being rude, but because the language is so when you learn Chinese, there are certain things that are not in the language that we would otherwise have, say for example in English, certain aspects to that language, like the way we have prepositions and adverbs that do this and that then makes the sentence work like this. They are very simple sentence structures. So when they speak English and they're basing it off of their language, it just sounds like, because it's missing all of those things that we use to link this sentence and then for us then it sounds a lot more polite.
Yeah.
So, but then when you start understanding their language, you realize, oh no, it's not as direct as it sounds when they speak English, actually.
Yeah.
And it's actually just some of it is just a suggestion, as opposed to being a direct thing. But if you don't know that, then you're thinking, why would you ask me something like that?
Actually, now that you say that, in Sweden they have a hidden language other than Swedish. It's called passive aggressive. you can't be.
They speak passive aggressive.
Fluent.
Yeah.
And this is based on their culture as well. You can't be too direct. There's something called lagom. You can't be too much and not too little. So you just have to be there. So I remember someone inviting me for a birthday party. Have I spoken about this in another episode?
I have no idea, but I would love to hear it again.
Yeah. So, and they were like, you can come to a birthday party if you want to.
Oh.
And so I said, what if I don't want to? I later realized this person, first of all, is being passive aggressive. They're afraid of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So they're giving me this option so that if I reject them, they have already protected themselves from rejection. And also language. You could have put that in a better way in English, but translated it from Swedish.
Yeah.
Because om du vill, if you want.
And for us, I mean, I don't know about in Kenya, but I know for sure in Zim, if I add if you want to, my attitude is already here.
Yeah, because it's like, who does she think?
Exactly, I'm already thinking who do you think you are? So if I'm gonna add if you want to, it's most of the time it's not coming from an if you want to place.
Yeah, in fact,
exactly.
In Kenya, nobody invites you. Tell you have to be there.
Yeah,
that's how you're invited. You have to be there. My party. People are already angry.
So if you say don't come, must I? And then the answer is if you want to. I mean, so
who do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. I don't know about you guys, Ala Nation. What have your experiences been with language barrier? Where you are? Let us know, please.
Yeah.
And what have you learned from it? What can you say now about, where you are, if you speak the language there? What differences have you seen? Because I started understanding Chinese people a lot better after I started studying Chinese. Because then I understood, this is where this comes from. So this makes sense. Yeah. And then people started saying, why are you always defending? I'm like, I'm not defending. I just get where it's coming from because now I've learned it.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a journey with it. But lastly, we said we'll talk about the advantages of language barrier.
Oh yeah, that's true. The advantages there's no advantages to it. The advantage of finally learning the language.
I think there's an advantage.
Of language barrier?
Yeah.
Well,
let me tell you what the advantage is.
In China, yes, I think there is. Not knowing what the news is saying is good.
I think you can also check out, because sometimes it's important to check out. When you're in a country and you understand everything, then you're involved in a lot of things, even things that you don't necessarily want to be involved in.
Yeah.
In places where there's a language barrier, there's only so much you can understand. Yeah, so there's a point where you are just oblivious to other things that are going on. And that state, not all the time, but it can be very blissful, where you just don't know.
1% though. For me, I think it's 1%. Because once you don't know what's going on, and there's a fire, and everyone is headed this way, and it's always good to know.
It's a different situation.
What you can do, for me, I feel like if I don't want to get involved, I just don't watch it or listen to it. And then
but I think that's about it. We can check our notes. That's why we have them. We can see if we've covered everything we wanted to cover.
I think we've covered everything.
I think it's all there with the language barrier. So there you have it.
We like to keep these episodes short and sweet.
To the point.
And I hope you guys have subscribed, invited your friends. What else do they need to do for this?
Tell us in the comments what their experiences are. Follow us on Instagram. Just give us a shout out and tell more people that we're here. We're trying to grow the channel, so we're not going to act like we don't need you guys. We do.
Alright, see you guys till next episode. Bye.
Bye.